It was a night like any other in the quiet suburbs of Portland, Oregon, the kind where the fog rolls in thick from the Willamette River, swallowing streetlights and turning every shadow into a secret. Houses dark, families asleep, the world holding its breath. But at 2:47 a.m., when the veil between the living and the whispers thins, something started speaking. Not to everyone, just to those alone in the silence. Low murmurs through vents, breathy words against window panes. Voices that knew your name and your sins. These are nighttime whisperings, true stories from the dark, real encounters from people who heard the impossible in the dead of night. Stories that prove the dark doesn't just hide things, it talks back. My name is Caleb Monroe. I'm 31, living alone in a small apartment in Columbus, Ohio. My older sister, Emily, died 3 years ago in a car accident. She was 28. We were too close, some people said. She was the one person who knew everything about me, and I knew everything about her, including the one secret she took to her grave. Emily had been seeing someone she shouldn't have been, a married man from her work. She told me one night over too much wine, crying, saying she was going to end it. She never did. The accident happened 2 weeks later. I never told anyone. Not our parents, not her friends. I buried the secret with her. I moved into this apartment 6 months after she passed. 1 bedroom, 3rd floor, cheap rent, quiet building. I liked it because it was boring. No surprises. About 4 months ago, I started waking up at exactly 3:17 a.m. every night. Not because of an alarm. Not because of noise, just awake. Heart racing, like something had just spoken to me and I'd forgotten what it said. Then one night I heard it. A whisper, soft, female, right next to my ear, as if someone was lying on the pillow beside me. "Caleb, you promised." I shot up. Room empty, lights off, door locked. Phone on the nightstand screen dark. I told myself it was a dream. Grief playing tricks, but it happened again the next night. Same time. "Caleb, you promised you'd keep it quiet." The voice sounded like Emily, not exactly like her recordings or videos. It was thinner, like wind through cracked glass, but the cadence, the way she said my name, it was her. I started sleeping with the light on. Didn't help. The 3rd night, the whisper changed. "I know you're alone now." Like I was, I grabbed my phone, hit record, held it up to the empty air. Nothing on the recording. Just my breathing, the hum of the fridge. Then the 4th night. "Caleb, remember the night I told you about him? The hotel room, the red dress. You said you'd never tell. You said it was our secret." My blood froze. I had never written that down. Never texted it, never spoken it aloud to another living person. Only Emily and I knew those details. I whispered back, voice shaking, "Who is this?" Silence. Then, softer than before. "Check the closet." I hadn't opened the bedroom closet in weeks. I kept it closed because it felt wrong, like something was waiting behind the door. I stood up, legs weak, walked over, hand on the knob. I opened it slowly. Inside, hanging on the rod where my jackets should have been, was one single red dress. Emily's favorite. The one she wore the night she told me about him. I'd given it away to charity after the funeral. I watched them take it. The dress swayed gently, as if someone had just stepped out of it. Then the whisper came again from inside the closet. "I kept my promise, Caleb. Now keep yours." I slammed the door shut, backed away, tripped over the bed and fell. The lights flickered. The room smelled like her perfume, vanilla and rain for the first time in 3 years. I haven't slept in that apartment since. I moved out the next day. Left everything behind except my phone and clothes. The landlord said the place was empty when he checked. No dress, no perfume. But sometimes around 3:17 a.m., wherever I am, hotel, friend's couch, new rental, I wake up. And I hear it. Just my name, soft, waiting. My name is Sarah Klein. I'm 36, married to David, and we have a 14-month-old daughter named Lily. We live in a quiet suburban house in Raleigh, North Carolina. After Lily was born, we bought one of those high-end baby monitors, the kind with video, two-way audio, temperature sensors, and night vision. It was supposed to give us peace of mind. The monitor has a small camera in Lily's nursery, mounted high on the wall, and the parent unit sits on our knitstand. We used it every night for the first year. Then Lily started sleeping through the night, so we turned the volume low and mostly checked it only when she fussed. About 3 months ago, something changed. It started with static. Not the usual white noise, but sharp bursts like someone breathing into the mic. David thought it was interference from the neighbor's Wi-Fi. We reset the monitor, changed channels. Static stopped, then the whispers began. The first time was around 2:45 a.m. I woke up to a faint sound from the monitor. At first, I thought Lily was murmuring in her sleep. I grabbed the parent unit, turned up the volume. A soft female voice, young, almost childlike, whispered, "Mommy, I'm cold." Lily was asleep in her crib. I could see her on the night vision screen, chest rising and falling, pacifier in mouth, blanket tucked. No one else in the room. I shook David awake. We both listened, nothing more. We told ourselves it was a dream. Or maybe the monitor picking up a neighbor's baby. Houses are close here. The next night, same time. "Mommy, come get me." "It's dark." The voice was clearer, closer to the camera. Like someone was speaking directly into the mic. I checked the nursery cam live. Lily was still asleep. No movement. The door was closed. No shadows. I went in anyway, picked her up. She didn't wake. Warm, safe. I brought her to our bed for the rest of the night. The third night, the voice sounded angry. "Why won't you come?" "I've been waiting so long." David unplugged the monitor that morning, threw the parent unit in the garage. We decided to go old school, baby in a bassinet next to our bed until we could afford a new system. But the whispers didn't stop. 2 nights later, around 3 a.m., I woke to the sound of static crackling from the baby monitor in the nursery. The one we'd unplugged. I crept down the hallway. The nursery door was slightly ajar. I pushed it open. The monitor was on. Screen glowing green night vision. Camera pointed at the crib. Lily was in her crib, eyes wide open, staring straight at the camera. But the whisper came again from the monitor. "She's not alone in there, Mommy." I rushed in. Lily was alone. Just her. She looked at me, smiled, and said her first real word, "Mommy." Then she pointed at the empty corner of the room. I turned on the light. Nothing. We moved Lily's crib to our room permanently. Sold the house 6 weeks later. The new owners called once, said they found an old baby monitor in the attic, still in the box. They asked if we wanted it back. We said no. But sometimes late at night, when everything is quiet, I hear it, a faint static. Then a whisper, soft, patient, waiting for me to answer. My name is Jordan Hayes. I'm 26 and I rent a small, one-bedroom house in the older part of Knoxville, Tennessee. The place was built in the 1940s, plaster walls, creaky floors, and a basement that floods every spring. I moved in because it was cheap and close to my job. The landlord said it had been empty for a few months. No big deal. The first week was normal. Then the tapping started. Soft at first, like fingernails on wood. Coming from inside the wall behind my bed. I thought it was pipes or settling. I ignored it. A week later, the tapping became knocking. 3 knocks. Pause. 3 more. Always around 2:30 a.m. I put my ear to the wall. Nothing but silence. Then one night, the knocking stopped mid-sequence. And a voice came through the plaster low, male, rough like gravel. "Jordan!" My name. Clear as day, I jumped back, heart slamming. The voice sounded close, right on the other side of the drywall, inches from my ear. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and checked the room. Nothing. I knocked back. Hard. Silence. The next night, it came again. "Jordan, come closer." I didn't move. I lay there frozen, listening. The voice laughed. Quiet, dry. "I know you're listening. You always listen." I started sleeping on the couch. Bought a white noise machine. It didn't help. 2 weeks in, the voice got more personal. "Jordan, remember the night you lied to your mom about where you were?" She cried for hours. I hadn't told anyone that story, not in years. My mom had passed away 5 years ago. I'd carried the guilt alone. I called the landlord. He came over, laughed it off. "Old houses talk. Probably mice or wind." He tapped the wall. Nothing. Then he left. And that night, the voice was angrier. You think he can't hear me? He knows I'm here. He's always known. I decided to investigate. I bought a cheap stud finder and a hammer. The next day, I started knocking on the wall where the voice seemed loudest. The stud finder beeped. There was a hollow space behind the plaster, about the size of a small closet. I hammered a small hole. Dust poured out. Inside, a narrow, dark cavity. No pipes, no wires, just dust and something else. A small yellowed piece of paper taped to the inside of the stud. I pulled it out. Handwritten in faded pencil. Jordan Hayes, born 1999, lives here. Now I've waited a long time. Welcome home. Below it, a date, 1947. The house had been built in 1947. The original owner, a man named Elias Hayes, had died in 1952. Heart attack, alone in the house. No family? The house passed through owners, but the name Hayes stuck in the deed chain. I was the first Hayes to live here since him. That night, the voice returned, louder, closer. Jordan, it's time to come inside. The knocking turned to pounding. The wall shook. Plaster cracked. I ran out of the house. Spent the night in my car. The next morning, I called a contractor to open the wall properly. They found it. A small hidden room, barely big enough for a man to stand. No door from inside the house. Just sealed plaster. Inside, a skeleton male, dressed in 1940s clothes. A noose around the neck, tied to a beam above. Suicide. The coroner said he'd been there since the 1950s. The house had changed hands, but no one ever found the space. The voice stopped after that. But every night, around 2:30 a.m., I still wake up. And I hear tapping, not from the wall anymore. From inside my head, soft, calling my name. My name is Eva Ramirez. I'm 29 and I live alone in a 2-bedroom apartment on the second floor of an old brick building in Philadelphia. I've always been a light sleeper, so I keep my bedroom door closed and the closet door cracked, just enough for air to circulate, but not enough to see inside when the lights are off. It's a habit from childhood. I hate fully closed spaces. This started in early October. I'd wake up around 3 a.m. to the sound of rustling, soft, like fabric brushing against fabric, coming from the closet. I'd lie there, heart pounding, telling myself it was the wind moving clothes on hangers. Or my cat, but I don't have a cat. Eventually I'd drift off again. Then the rustling turned into breathing, slow, deliberate, in and out. Like someone standing just inside the closet door, waiting. I bought a motion-activated nightlight and plugged it in near the closet. The first night it came on, I sat up fast. The light illuminated the crack in the door empty. Just my clothes hanging, no movement, but the breathing continued. One night, the breathing stopped, and a voice started, male, low, calm, like someone confessing in the dark. I did something bad, Ava. I froze. The voice was coming from inside the closet, close enough that I could hear the slight rasp in his throat. I didn't mean to hurt her. She just wouldn't stop crying. I grabbed my phone, ready to call 911, hands shaking so badly I could barely hold it. The voice kept going. I put her in here so no one would find her, but she's gone now. You're here instead? I whispered, who are you? Silence. Then open the door. I'll show you. I didn't move. I turned on every light in the apartment, sat on the couch with a knife from the kitchen until sunrise. The next day I opened the closet in full daylight. Nothing unusual. Clothes, shoes, boxes on the shelf. No hidden panels. No body, nothing. But at the very back behind my winter coats, I found something I'd never seen before. A small, child-sized handprint on the wall, dusty, old, like someone had pressed their palm there long ago, and it never got cleaned. I called the landlord. He came over, looked, shrugged. Old building. Kids probably lived here decades ago. Paint's thin. That night, the voice returned louder, closer to the crack in the door. Ava, you opened it. Good girl, now you know my secret. I know yours too. I don't have secrets, not big ones. Just normal stuff, bad breakups, white lies, regrets. But the voice listed them, one by one. The abortion I never told anyone about. The money I took from my mom's purse as a teen. The friend I ghosted after she confided in me. Every shameful thing I'd buried. It spoke them softly, like a priest in confession. I forgive you, Ava. Now forgive me. I moved out the next week. Left half my stuff behind. Got a studio with no closet, just an open rack. The landlord texted a month later. Found something when cleaning your old place. A small shoebox in the closet wall. Want it? I said no, but last night in my new studio, I woke up at 3 a.m. The open rack was empty, my clothes on the floor. And from the corner of the room, the only dark corner, came the voice, soft, patient. Ava, I followed you. It's time for your confession. I haven't closed my eyes since. And the corner is getting darker, even with the lights on.